Okay, let's set the scene. It's what, 10:47 p.m.?
Oh, I know this scene.
You are finished with your day, but you are not rested. You are just completely mentally and physically fried. You're standing in front of your kitchen sink, and it has that distinct patina of last night's pan in this morning's coffee mug.
The museum of yesterday.
Exactly. And you glance inside your refrigerator. The contents are, frankly, depressing. Maybe one lonely bruised tomato and a bottle of ketchup that's about 40% air.
You are not cooking. That is not happening.
No way. So you reach for your phone, you tell yourself, I'll just scroll for 5 minutes to decompress.
Famous last words.
15 minutes later, you've somehow navigated to a food delivery app. You've ordered a burger, fries, and a milkshake from that diner. You know the one, it's literally across the street, a 7-minute walk away.
But you're paying for it to be delivered.
You paid a base price of $28, but when you factor in the service fee, the delivery fee, and the, generous tip, the total cost that hits your bank account is now $38. And while you wait for that $38 meal to travel 500 feet, you open your smart TV or your tablet.
Of course.
You scroll past dozens of options, Netflix, Hulu, Max, continue watching, top picks for you, trending now. And you sigh and you say, there is absolutely nothing good to watch tonight.
Even though you're paying for all of it.
At the same time, you're realizing you are now paying for your third, maybe even your fourth major streaming service this month.
And here's the paradox. This is what we really need to unpack.
Yes. You just spent nearly $40 on food and over $50 a month on entertainment access, yet you don't feel rich. You don't feel luxurious. You feel tired.
Tired, a little guilty, and still kind of broke.
Still kind of broke because you know this is a pattern. This happens all the time.
And that is the absolute core of the problem. That credit card statement arrives at the end of the month, or maybe you just, you open the bank app out of curiosity.
You brace yourself.
You brace yourself and you see that massive number. You start scrolling through the transactions and you realize, wait a minute, how did I spend $260 or $300 on little things?
And things you barely remember?
On background charges and meals that I don't even remember enjoying or watching.
That is the universal feeling. We look at our accounts and we think, I don't buy anything major. I don't own a yacht or a sports car, so why is my money constantly disappearing? Why is my account always running on fumes right before payday?
Right.
Today's deep dive is about what those tiny, seemingly innocuous conveniences are actually costing you. This whole conversation is really custom tailored for anyone who says, I don't know where my money goes, but who knows deep down?
Oh, they know.
They know they have a stack of subscriptions and a default setting that just screams, I'll just order in.
We are going to explore why ordering in has shifted from being, a conscious treat to this unconscious, expensive default state. And we really want to help you tackle that feeling of financial exhaustion you get from paying for a lifestyle that often doesn't even make you that happy or relaxed in the end.
To guide us through this, I'm so thrilled to have an expert in the field who can shed some light on the mechanics of this spending. She specializes in behavioral economics and personal finance education and really focuses on how app design, psychological bias, and our tiny daily habits just fundamentally change the way we interact with money.
Thank you. I am excited to jump in, and I absolutely have to start with this commitment. This is a non-judgmental zone.
Please, yes.
Convenience is not inherently evil. The goal is not austerity. These apps and services, Netflix, the delivery companies, they're tools. They're designed to meet a demand for comfort. But the discussion we have to have is how those tools are designed and stacked and integrated into our lives. Because that is where they quietly become one of the biggest reasons we feel financially stuck.
Even if we're doing everything else right.
Even if we are otherwise responsible, it's these invisible leaks that, compounded over time, create that feeling of always being behind.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Let's start by just defining the scope of the problem. Before we all start the self-recrimination process, let's get crystal clear on what we mean when we talk about convenience spending. When we say subscriptions, delivery, apps, what exactly is in that layer?
Right. So when we talk about this convenience layer, we're defining any spend where the primary thing you're buying is the avoidance of time, the avoidance of physical effort, or the avoidance of a little bit of discomfort.
The discomfort of a blank screen or a dirty sink or having to walk to the store?
Exactly. And this breaks down pretty cleanly into 5 specific categories that have just integrated so deeply into the fabric of modern life.
I have a feeling we're all going to recognize these immediately.
Oh, absolutely. First, the most obvious layer. Streaming platforms, This is your Netflix, your Hulu, Disney Plus Max, Apple TV Plus Tail, Paramount Plus Ho.
All of them.
And all the smaller, specialized channels that pop up quarterly. The cost here is basically avoiding boredom and avoiding having to navigate traditional cable.
Okay, that makes sense. What's number 2?
Second, we have music and audio. Think Spotify Premium, Apple Music, your Audible subscription, specialized podcast apps, or even like high-end sound and noise canceling software.
The convenience here is just unlimited, ad-free, instant access to everything.
Exactly. Third, and this one is arguably the most volatile, are the delivery services. This is the big one.
Right.
DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub for prepared food, Instacart for grocery runs, and those newer, ultra-fast 15-minute delivery apps for snacks or forgotten ingredients.
And what you're paying for is just speed.
A huge premium.
Yeah.
Simply for the convenience of speed and avoiding effort.
And as we said in the intro, those delivery services are often the most deceptive because the cost on the menu is not the price you actually pay.
It is never the price you pay. You anchor your mental costs to the food. Right, to the burger, not to the service fees, which often inflate the bill by, 25 to 40%?
Yeah.
Instantly.
Okay, so we've got streaming, audio delivery. What's the fourth category?
The fourth category is subscription apps. These are all those little charges that automate self-improvement or utility tasks. So your expensive meditation app, your specialized fitness app.
Peloton Digital, things like that.
Peloton Digital, exactly. Cloud storage like iCloud or Dropbox, new site subscriptions, game passes, photo editing, and that long tail of forgotten $4.99 or $9.99 charges that just look like alphabet soup on your bank statement.
They promise automation or improvement without you having to do any work.
That's the pitch. And then the fifth, which is getting increasingly complicated, is what we can call hybrid services.
You used Amazon Prime as an example. Let's dig into that because that service is such a powerful convenience trap.
Oh, it's a perfect modern hybrid because it bundles 3 types of convenience. 1, you've got shipping speed, so you're avoiding the wait.
Right.
2, you've got streaming, avoiding boredom. And 3, you've got what they call subscribe and save for household items.
Which feels so responsible.
It feels responsible. You never run out of toilet paper, which is highly convenient, but is also the definition of financial autopilot. You rarely check if that item is truly the best price elsewhere, or if you even need that quantity delivered right now. You just accept the monthly renewal.
I think we should probably include modern meal kit subscriptions here too, right? Like Blue Apron or HelloFresh. They're selling the convenience of not having to decide what's for dinner.
Absolutely. Meal kit services are a classic convenience expenditure. They save you time on planning and shopping. But often, if you don't stick to the plan perfectly, they lead to high food waste and higher per meal costs compared to just simple planning.
So it's another layer of cost to your convenience layer?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to be super explicit, this deep dive is not about your essential, non-negotiable fixed spending. We're not talking about rent, mortgage, utilities, your health expenses, or minimum loan payments.
No, our focus is entirely on this optional layer of spending, the layer that makes life noticeably smoother, but which, if your financial security depended on it, you could technically live without. It's the layer that has become non-optional purely through this seamless integration into our tired, busy modern lives.
And the ultimate goal here isn't to demand that you cut off all forms of comfort.
Not at all. The goal is intentionality. We want you to look at the total cost of these layers of comfort and decide, on purpose, which ones truly earn their place in your budget, which ones provide enough value to outweigh the cost to your bigger financial goals.
I really like that framing, earning their place. It shifts the discussion from guilt, am I allowed to have this, to a strategic choice.
Exactly. Is this worth the redirection of my future opportunity? That's the real question.
Okay, so let's move into the mechanics of why this particular type of spending is such a financial problem. Because if someone is only paying, $15 here and $10 there, why is it worth this whole deep dive?
It's worth it because of accumulation. The most fundamental rule in personal finance is that most people don't go broke from one big purchase.
Right.
They stay financially stuck, or they feel constantly behind because of a steady, relentless stream of small, automated, barely felt purchases that just stack up aggressively over months and years.
We call that the death by $1,999.
Precisely. And convenience spending is uniquely damaging because it hits 3 major financial vulnerabilities at the same time, which makes the leak virtually invisible until the cumulative damage is just overwhelming.
Okay, so what's the first reason?
The first reason is obvious, but it's profound. It's recurring. A one-time splurge, a nice jacket, a fancy dinner is visible, it's memorable, and it's finite. But a subscription for $12.99 or a $4.99 storage charge that renews every single month,
It's just background noise.
it is experienced by your brain as just background noise, part of the cost of living. The automation of the renewal completely removes the necessity of active choice. You never have to ask your conscious, critical self, do I want this again this month?
The automation basically creates a standing yes forever.
It does. The second major reason is that it's socially normalized. And this is a huge factor. Having multiple streaming services, using delivery apps, subscribing to cloud storage, this doesn't feel like luxury spending anymore.
No, it feels like the baseline.
It feels like the baseline requirement for participation in modern life. Since everyone you know, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, is constantly ordering in or keeping up with the latest streaming show, it removes the perception that this is a significant optional luxury expense. If everyone else is doing it,
It must be normal, right?
it must be normal. It's the cost of maintaining the social baseline. This cost of keeping up with a normalized, automated, comfortable default.
Okay, so it's recurring, it's normalized. What's the third one?
And the third, which we cannot overlook, is that it's frictionless. This is the engineering genius that locks us in. These services are designed specifically to remove cognitive effort. Your card is on file, your address is saved, and you can order in one tap.
Right.
By eliminating the need to pull out your wallet, type in numbers, and pause for that microsecond of decision-making, the engineering eliminates that moment of conscious awareness where you might ask, do I really want to spend $35 right now?
So it's recurring, it's normalized by society, and the corporate design makes it invisible to your conscious brain. That truly is the perfect lethal recipe for money leaks.
Think of it like that leaky pipe analogy. Convenience spending is the pipe behind the wall. You don't see the cash gushing out, so you assume the few drops are fine. But then after 6 months, you see the water damage, the sagging financial ceiling, and you realize the cumulative drops were actually a massive, relentless flood.
And for you listening, if this description feels accurate, we want to shift the focus. We are not calling you irresponsible. We are calling you human, living in an environment that is designed to make you spend.
Exactly.
Ignoring this spending undermines your biggest, most vital goals. Funding your emergency savings, aggressively paying down high-interest debt, or, just starting that first step into long-term investing.
We need to acknowledge that most people are leaking money, not because it's a moral failure, but because they are exhausted, they're busy, and they're surrounded by technology explicitly engineered to separate them from their cash as smoothly and frictionlessly as possible.
So our core mission in this deep dive is really to pull that convenient spending out of the dark, put a spotlight on it, and then implement a deliberate, intentional system that lets you enjoy the comfort you choose without letting the defaults run the whole show.
Okay, it's time for the reality check. I want us to walk through a completely realistic, non-luxury example of convenience spending. Because I genuinely believe that until they see the tally, most people just completely underestimate the total annual impact of their automatic life.
Let's do it. Let's bring back our persona, Sam. Sam is entirely average. She works hard, takes home maybe $3,500 a month after taxes, and covers all her required essentials, rent, utilities, minimum loans, necessary groceries.
She's not struggling to pay fixed bills, but she feels constant financial pressure. She doesn't know why she can never get ahead.
Exactly. So let's look specifically at her convenience layer, that optional baseline we just defined.
Okay, let's hit the tally step by step. Where do we start? We'll start with video streaming. Sam likely feels she needs a variety, so she has Netflix, maybe the standard ad-free tier, let's say $18. Hulu, because one of her favorite shows is exclusive there, another $15. Disney Plus $80, because she or her partner uses it occasionally, $10. And she just signed up for Max for that new HBO release, another $15.
So just on video, just for watching things?
Just on video, Sam is already at $58 a month.
And crucially, this is the environment where she still complains there's nothing to watch. The sheer volume cancels out the enjoyment.
Correct. Now we add audio and books, Spotify Premium or Apple Music, $11. And maybe an audiobook or learning subscription like Audible for $15. That's another $26.
So total so far, we're already at $84 a month just for media consumption.
$84. And now for the part that always stings, the breakdown of the delivery costs.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's detail this aggressively. We'll look at food delivery. Again, we'll assume Sam is moderate. She orders just 4 times a month, once a week, maybe every Friday night because she's just done.
Right.
Let's break down one single Friday night order that starts with an $18 burger.
Okay.
Base menu price, $18. Delivery fee, $4. Service fee, which is the percentage paid to the app, $5. Tax, $1.50. And the tip. Let's assume a 20% tip on the base price plus fees, which is pretty standard now, so that's $5.50.
Okay, so the total cost for that one $18 meal is?
$34.
Wow. That $18 meal is now $34. That is nearly double the advertised price, and half of that is just pure convenience overhead.
It is. Now multiply that $34 by 4 times a month. That is $136 a month, just for 4 instances of avoiding effort.
So now we're at $84 for media, plus $136 from delivery. That's $220. And we haven't even accounted for the phantom charges yet.
Not yet. The little charges that slip through the cracks. The small recurring charges. Cloud storage for photos. Maybe $5. That premium news site or a specialized newsletter, $10. The meditation app she signed up for during a high-stress period, another $10. Maybe a gaming subscription or a photo editing app that automatically renewed, $10 each.
So we can easily add another $35 to $50 onto that base of $220.
It is extremely easy, with totally normal non-luxury behavior, for Sam's total monthly convenience spend to land somewhere between $250 and $300. Let's take the midpoint, call it $270.
$270 a month, just for comfort.
And when we annualize that number, and this is the moment we need you listening to truly grasp, that completely normal $270 a month equals $3,240 per year.
$3,240, spent solely on things that stop a minor moment of discomfort.
And that number defines the entire opportunity cost for Sam. That $3,240 per year is the difference between I don't have enough money to start an emergency fund and I have funded my entire starter emergency fund. That is security.
Or if Sam is focused on debt, that $270 extra payment on a credit card charging 20% interest could potentially save her thousands of dollars in interest and shave years off her payoff timeline.
Exactly. Most people don't think in terms of $3,000. They think, oh, it's just a $15 subscription. We have to see the total number because right now, most of you listening probably don't know this number. You just feel the vague financial anxiety it creates.
And if those numbers made you wince, remember that seeing the number is not a source of shame, it is the source of power. You can't redirect or negotiate resources you haven't identified yet.
Okay, let's pivot now into the why. Why do we knowingly undermine our future goals? We know we should save, but when 10:47 p.m. hits, we order the burger. Why does future you always lose the vote? It really comes down to understanding the conflict between our, let's say, our intellectual self and our exhausted self.
Right.
The core concept here is called present bias. Your brain is wired to prioritize immediate comfort and pleasure over a distant, abstract reward. So, exhausted present you is feeling stress, hunger, or burnout, and that emotion feels intensely real. Future you, who will deal with the consequence of an empty savings account, is an imaginary hypothetical person who is not currently experiencing any pain.
So present you will always choose the instant relief of delivery over the effort and dishes required to cook, because the pain of doing dishes is immediate and the reward of saving is delayed.
Precisely. And we see present bias play out specifically with money savings and the time horizon. People are generally good at agreeing to save for a goal that's next year or 5 years from now. Yes, I will save 10% next year.
Right.
But they are terrible at saving for a goal that's next month.
Why is that?
Because next month is too close. It still feels like the immediate present, which means we still prioritize spending right now.
That raises a fascinating point. We can easily agree to future sacrifices, but when the moment actually arrives, we treat it as an immediate crisis that requires immediate comfort.
That's right. And that comfort loop is maintained by the second mechanism, dopamine and instant gratification. Tapping order, scrolling through an endless catalog of shows, or receiving a notification that your food is 5 minutes away.
It's a little reward.
It provides a strong, predictable mini reward, a hit of dopamine. This trains your brain to associate these apps and these actions with guaranteed comfort, relief, and entertainment.
So these apps are not just fulfilling a need, they are actively training our brains through this engineered reward cycle to seek them out whenever we feel tired or bored.
Absolutely. They are capitalizing on your exhaustion. And the third factor is mental accounting, which we sort of touched on. The brain creates separate mental compartments for spending: rent, loans, utilities. That's the serious budget. The $9.99 subscription goes into the small, negligible fun box. By compartmentalizing, the brain prevents the emotional realization that 20 or 30 of those charges, accumulated monthly, represent a serious financial investment.
The brain tricks us into viewing the problem as 20 small, separate choices, rather than one huge accumulated cost.
And this allows the cumulative damage to happen below the line of conscious concern, right up until the moment Sam looks at her annual total of $3,240 and feels that sudden shock.
Okay, so we know why we say yes automatically, but I want to explore the huge emotional friction around saying no and canceling. Why is it so hard to stop paying for something we barely even use?
Well, the engineering of the apps works in tandem with our own emotional wiring to make canceling feel disproportionately painful compared to the small financial gain.
What's the first barrier?
The first one is the sunk cost fallacy. Let's say you've been paying for a specific niche streaming service for 5 years, but you haven't logged in for 8 months. Your brain focuses on the historical money, the 5 years of payments.
Right.
And it rationalizes, I can't cancel now, I've already invested so much, I might watch it next week.
So we continue to pay money today to avoid the feeling that we wasted money yesterday. It's a mechanism to protect our past self from looking foolish.
Precisely. You double down on the waste. The second, and perhaps even more powerful barrier, is loss aversion. Psychologists have shown that the pain of losing something feels emotionally twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining an equivalent amount.
So you focus on the pain.
You focus on the pain of losing access to that massive catalog of shows or that one-day shipping capability. That loss feels concrete and immediate.
While the gain $15 back in your checking account is vague, it's future-focused, and it's easily absorbed by other expenses.
Exactly. The internal fear is, I barely use this, but what if one day next month I really need it and don't have it? That fear of future inconvenience just completely outweighs the current pain of paying $15.
I think we all have an experience with this. I know I kept an old gym membership active for months after I stopped going, simply because the process of having to call them, be put on hold, and argue with a salesperson just felt more exhausting than letting the $40 charge hit every month.
That's the perfect illustration of how companies leverage loss aversion and friction. They know that initiating that difficult cancellation process, that conversation, that argument that required paperwork, causes enough discomfort that we choose the expensive path of least resistance.
And is there a third barrier?
And finally, there's the barrier of identity and FOMO, fear of missing out. Canceling a core service, like a major streaming platform, can feel like you're stepping outside a social group if your friends are constantly discussing the latest content. It might feel like you're sacrificing a part of your identity.
Like, I'm a premium fitness person, or I'm a person who stays informed with all the news.
Exactly. So canceling becomes this emotional calculation, not just a financial one, because it carries the social weight of potential exclusion.
Which is why you need systems, not just brute willpower, to overcome these really sophisticated barriers. Let's delve into the mechanics of the design itself. We established that companies know our psychological weaknesses. Let's look specifically at the interface tricks they use to ensure we stay locked in and spend without thinking.
This is where we see the system actively working against you, the listener. Companies invest so much money in user experience to make the yes path seamless and the no path just agonizing.
Let's start with a big one, the free trial.
Let's start with a foundational trick. Auto renewals and the deceptive free trial. It's almost standard practice now. They request your payment information upfront for a 7, 14, or 30-day trial. And the critical setting is that the default is always a seamless, automatic roll into the paid subscription.
They don't send you a big, obvious reminder that the trial is ending?
No. Or if they do, it's often buried in a promotional email that looks just like marketing spam. So the company assumes payment unless the user actively intervenes. The responsibility for stopping the payment is completely shifted to the already exhausted, busy consumer.
If they had to ask you for your card info again on day 8, their business model would fall apart.
Their retention rates would be decimated. They eliminate that moment of choice. The second major trick is the use of hidden cancel buttons and extreme friction.
Ugh, yes.
Think about signing up for a service. It's fast, maybe 2 taps. Canceling, however, is often a 12-step process. You're required to navigate deep into menus labeled My Account Settings or Manage Plan.
And then you face multiple confirmation screens designed to guilt you. Are you sure you want to lose access to all these features?
I've even seen some companies force you to interact with an AI chatbot or even fill out a form that requires a phone call back from a retention specialist, all just to cancel a $10 app.
They're applying friction only where it serves them.
That's it. Friction is a deterrent to revenue loss. They use complexity and required social interaction, the thing exhausted people hate most, to keep you paying. Third, we have safeguards and one-tap ordering.
The abstraction of money.
It's the abstraction of money in action. By keeping your credit card on file and saving your delivery address, services like DoorDash or Amazon eliminate the physical, tactile, and psychological act of pulling out your wallet.
Because if I have to walk across the room, find my wallet, open it, look at the physical card, and type in the numbers, I have a moment to think about the money leaving my hands.
That's the critical moment they eliminate.
Yeah.
It shifts the purchase from a concrete exchange of value to a frictionless abstract tap, which lessens the perceived pain of the cost. And finally, the trick of decoy pricing and anchoring.
What do you mean by that?
Instead of presenting the true cost, the $360 annual price tag, they anchor your brain to the smaller figure, only $9.99 a month. So the actual expenditure feels smaller and more digestible, even if the total annual commitment is huge.
They might even show the annual price with a big discount banner to make the yearly commitment feel like a huge bargain, even though it's the larger lump sum you're committing to.
Yes, the system is fundamentally engineered for an always, yes, never think behavior pattern.
Okay, it's time to address the most common and probably the most sophisticated defense that you might be mounting right now. I'm busy, I work hard, my time is valuable. Isn't for convenience, the delivery, the subscriptions, a smart trade for my time?
This is a really nuanced question, and we have to answer it truthfully.
Yeah.
Yes, your time is incredibly valuable, and convenience can be a smart trade if you use the time you saved strategically.
Define strategically. What makes saved time high value?
A high-value activity is anything that aligns with your deeper personal, professional, or financial goals. Using grocery delivery so you can spend quality, non-stress time with your family, that's high value. Ordering delivery so you can finally get necessary, restorative rest. High value. Paying for a cleaning service so you can work an extra hour on a side hustle that moves you toward a significant financial goal. Also high value.
But I want to push back a little here. What about the person who just works 60 hours a week and truly needs that delivery just to rest? Are we penalizing exhaustion?
That's a crucial distinction, and no, we are not penalizing rest. We are questioning the quality of the rest being purchased. The critical distinction is this. If convenience spending is used primarily to eliminate discomfort so you can immediately check out,
Meaning?
to scroll Netflix for 2 hours and watch shows you only kind of like, or endlessly refresh social media, you are not buying back productive time or restorative rest.
Yeah.
You are buying a slightly more comfortable passive version of just checking out.
That distinction is key. Comfort versus progress or genuine rest.
We want you, the listener, to honestly look at your calendar and ask, what did I actually do with the time I saved by spending $34 on delivery? If the answer is consistently nothing that moved the needle on my goals or nothing that truly rested my soul, then that time is valuable argument is often a justification that present you is using rather than an actual financial strategy.
Okay, so the natural fear that follows this realization is the all or nothing trap. Do I have to cancel everything? Do I have to become some financial ascetic who cooks every meal from scratch and never watches a show to be good with money? That sounds absolutely miserable.
No, absolutely not. That black and white all or nothing thinking is the #1 cause of financial burnout and then subsequent rebellion.
Where you just throw up your hands and say, forget it, I'll just order pizza.
Exactly. The goal is not zero convenience. The goal is a life where convenience is used on purpose, within known intentional boundaries.
So the choice isn't between full convenience spending and, living in a cave.
It's about creating a smarter trade-off. We're comparing spending $270 a month on autopilot versus, say, spending $100 a month on the specific conveniences that are genuinely high value and emotionally restorative.
And then redirecting the remaining $170 toward the future.
That's it. It allows you to become the editor of your own life. You might decide Netflix and Spotify are non-negotiable for my sanity, and I value one intentional delivery meal a week. Those services earn their place.
And that's a win.
It's a huge win. You keep those services because they genuinely make life better. but you ruthlessly cut the noise. The 5 specialty apps you rarely open, the random $4.99 charges, and the unplanned reactive delivery orders that just bring stress later.
The result is that you eliminate the low-value, high-cost noise, ensuring the conveniences that truly simplify your life are the ones that get to stay. You define what earns a place in your intentional budget. Before we jump into the mechanics of the audit, we have to address the emotional fallout, because I know people are listening, they're tallying up the numbers in their head, and they're feeling a rising wave of shame or panic, thinking, I've wasted so much money, I'm irresponsible.
That shame is the enemy of action. It really is. Shame drives avoidance. It makes you shut down the bank app, ignore the bills, and just revert to default habits. We have to stop that cycle right now.
So what do you say to that person?
I want to tell that person, you are not stupid, you are not weak, and you are not financially hopeless. You are a human being who is tired and busy, and you are living in an environment designed by professionals to exploit those exact qualities for profit. You didn't design auto-renew.
You're just the consumer of that environment.
Exactly. So the goal is to replace the energy of self-attack with the energy of curiosity.
Okay, what's the practical script for that? How do you do that?
Instead of the internalized script being, I'm so dumb for spending $3,000 a year on this, the script needs to shift to, wow, that system worked on me. I'm learning how this system operates, and I am allowed to change how I use the tools in my life.
I think we also need to address analysis paralysis here. The listener is likely thinking of their 50 transactions, feeling overwhelmed, and just wanting to shut down.
That's so common. When you see the complexity, the temptation is to say, this is too complicated, I'll just avoid it. Curiosity helps here because it keeps the task small and manageable. You are not deciding your whole financial future in this 1 hour.
You're just gathering the facts.
You are simply gathering the facts. You are shifting the focus from blame to data collection. And data collection is unemotional. It's non-judgmental.
That's powerful. Shame keeps you hiding from the truth. Curiosity gives you the courage to open the app, look at the objective numbers, and make decisions based on reality, not on emotion.
Oh.
All right, let's get mechanical now. The first and most important step is the convenience audit. This is about establishing that data point, no matter how uncomfortable it might be.
This needs to be done with simplicity and curiosity, not fear. The goal is to get the number in under an hour. So, step 1, access your transaction history.
Okay.
For many people, this means opening the app for the main credit card or bank account you use. However, if you're a heavy spender or use multiple cards, this is where budgeting software like Y&B, Mint, or even your bank's own spending features can make the data collection faster and less overwhelming.
That's a great distinction. Use the tools available to simplify the process if scrolling line by line just feels like too much.
Absolutely. Step 2. Review the transactions for the last full month. Don't look at the last week, look at the last full 30 days. This gives you the recurring pattern without the complication of partial cycle.
Okay, got it.
Step 3. Create a simple organizational structure. You just need 3 columns: physical paper or a simple note on your phone. Column 1, streaming and entertainment. Column 2, delivery and reactive food. And column 3, other subscriptions and recurring charges.
So we are segmenting the spending into the functional purpose it serves.
Exactly. Step 4. Go line by line through your statement or through the category breakdown your app provides. Write down the charge and the exact amount in the correct column. And crucially, circle any charge you cannot immediately recognize or recall.
Those are the true phantom costs.
Those circled charges are the most compelling evidence that you are leaking money you didn't even know you had. Step 5. Add up all 3 columns individually. Get a total for streaming, a total for delivery, and a total for the random recurring charges. Then add those 3 totals together for your grand total monthly convenience spend.
That single number, that monthly total, is your new baseline. It is the number you need to focus on.
And then, step 6. Take that monthly total and multiply it by 12. This is the annualized cost. If you are spending $270 a month, seeing that $3,240 annual figure shifts the problem from being a little convenience to being the cost of my financial security. The shock of that large number. That's your motivation.
Now that we have the list and the total number, we need to apply some strategy. We want to avoid that panicked, temporary approach of, I'm canceling everything. So how do we move toward intentional, sustainable triage?
We use the keep, cut, or change matrix.
Yeah.
For every single line item in your audit, you ask 3 filtering questions. This keeps the process objective.
Okay, that's the first question.
Question 1. Do I actually use this enough to justify the cost? And you have to quantify it. If you're paying $15 for a specialized news site, but you only read 3 articles last month, the answer is likely no.
Makes sense.
Question 2. Is there a cheaper or more efficient way? Could you downgrade to an ad-supported tier? Could you switch to a bundled family plan, even if you're not sharing with family but with roommates?
And the third question.
Question 3. Does this match my priorities for this season of my life? If you are saving aggressively for a down payment, is having 6 unique streaming services aligned with that goal? Maybe 3 earn their place, and the other 3 need to be paused.
Let's add a layer of complexity here, because modern financial lives are often bundled. What if I'm on a shared family plan for Spotify that I don't manage? Or what if my cell phone provider bundles a streaming service?
That's the critical modern challenge. For bundled items, you need to calculate your fractional share and decide if that fractional cost is still justified. If your share of the family Spotify is $5 a month and you use it daily, that's a keep.
Right.
If your phone company gives you Max for free but you never log in, you still ask if the effort of managing that bundle is worth the access. Or could you pause a different paid subscription since this one is covered?
That shifts the problem from I can't cancel it to I can use this free convenience to cut something else.
Exactly. Now let's apply the matrix to the delivery category, which is usually the highest point of friction. If you had 5 orders last month, categorize them. 2 were planned, high-value, restorative treats. Those are keep. 3 were reactive, tired at 10 p.m. orders. Those are change.
So the goal is to analyze the pattern of the spending, not just the cost of the single burger.
Exactly. The goal is not to eliminate convenience, but to make the process conscious, strategic, and aligned with your broader goals.
Okay, so once we've done the triage, the next step is implementation. How do we move this intentional list into a structure of budget that actually prevents the automatic bleed without forcing us into, miserable self-denial?
You have to create a clear, rigid container that automates the boundary.
What does that look like?
Step 1, set a cap. Look at your audit total of, say, $270. You must decide on a realistic monthly cap that is high enough to feel doable, but low enough to free up significant cash. Maybe you aim to drop to $120 a month. That's $150 freed up instantly.
That cap needs to be a number that you can agree to without feeling completely deprived.
Precisely. It has to be sustainable. Step 2, prioritize and allocate. List your absolute non-negotiable items, your keepers, and assign your cap to those first. If Netflix, Spotify, and your 2 intentional delivery meals take up $97 of your $120 cap, you have $23 left for everything else.
And if the max subscription is $15, you have to choose to cut that or something else to stay under the $120.
It forces the crucial trade-off right at the source, before the money leaves the bank.
Yes.
And step 3, tracking with a container. This is the most effective behavioral hack. Do not rely on your general checking account.
So what do you do instead?
You create a system to track this cap that enforces the boundary. I strongly recommend setting up a separate checking account or a designated sub-account. A lot of modern banking apps offer this functionality easily, specifically for convenient spending.
So I would automatically transfer my fixed $120 cap into that separate account every month.
Exactly. Once a month, the $120 moves. When you order delivery or subscribe to a new app, you use the card associated with that specific account. When that balance is gone, the spending stops for the month.
That is really smart. Setting up a separate account effectively automates the boundary, rather than relying on my willpower at the exact moment of temptation. When the card declines, it's not an emotional failure.
It's the system working exactly as intended. It removed the emotion and the guilt. You gave yourself permission to spend that $120 and you used your allocation. Now you wait until the first of next month for the container to refill.
We have to bring this back to the big picture of why this matters so intensely. Someone who successfully cuts $150 a month might still think, that's just small change, it won't solve my long-term problems.
That is the mental accounting trick talking. We have to smash that isolation. That $150 a month reduction is $1,800 a year, guaranteed that you can deploy strategically. That is not small change. That is a strategic weapon.
So let's look at the power of that redirected money.
Okay, debt payoff. An extra $150 per month on high-interest debt, like credit cards, will dramatically accelerate your financial freedom. Depending on your rate, that money can save you 5 figures in interest and condense years of repayment into months.
Okay, what about savings?
Emergency fund. $1,800 a year is transformative. In just 2 years, you have $3,600 enough to handle major car repairs, unexpected medical bills, or a broken appliance without going into debt. That's financial resilience.
And investing.
Investing that $150 consistently over a decade or more is how you start building true wealth through compounding. That money doesn't just sit there, it starts working for you, growing exponentially over time.
So when we talk about opportunity cost, we are defining the real long-term price tag of the unconscious choice.
Opportunity cost is the most potent motivator. It forces you to ask, when I spend $38 on that delivery tonight, what bigger yes, whether it's my ability to quit a job I hate, my ability to afford a house, or simply my ability to breathe deeply when bills arrive, am I quietly saying no to? Sometimes the delivery is worth it, but we need to choose that no consciously.
This has to land with concrete action. Let's provide a 30-day challenge that summarizes these steps and gives the listener a clear path forward this week.
Perfect. This challenge is designed to prove to yourself that change is possible without massive deprivation.
Okay, what's step 1?
Step 1. Complete the convenience audit and know your current monthly convenience spending number.
Get the data.
Step 2. Set your 30-day convenience budget cap. Be aggressive but realistic. Maybe aim for $100 this month. Write that number down.
Okay.
Step 3. Choose your specific keepers and how many delivery orders, let's say 2 maximum, are allowed within that cap for this 30-day period.
Then what?
Step 4. Create maximum friction for impulsive spending. Delete the delivery apps from your phone's home screen. Log out of your Amazon account. Remove your saved card information from the remaining apps. Just make that 10:47 p.m. impulse slightly harder to execute.
We are replacing willpower with a system.
Yes. Step 5, and this is crucial. Immediately set up an automatic transfer for the money you aim to free up. If you're aiming to cut $150, set up a recurring $150 transfer scheduled for tomorrow straight to a high-yield savings, debt payment, or brokerage account. Give those dollars a new, purposeful job instantly.
And step 6.
Step 6. Have a ready-made backup plan for the inevitable I'm tired night. When exhaustion hits, you need low-effort, low-cost alternatives posted on your fridge. Quick frozen meals, a box of frozen dumplings, simple omelet ingredients, or pasta with quality jarred sauce. Rely on pre-planned simplicity, not impulsive spending. Step 7. At the end of 30 days, review the spending. Assess the money you successfully redirected and evaluate honestly how the new boundary felt. Did you genuinely miss the canceled subscriptions? Use that data to refine your long-term intentional budget.
As we conclude, let's reinforce the emotional shift. If someone still feels that pervasive sense of guilt or thinks, I'll just cave anyway, how do we help them internalize a new, kinder script?
We have to reinforce that the guilt means you care. It means your values are pulling you forward. You just need to shift from self-hatred to curiosity and self-respect.
So let's give them specific phrases they can use when that temptation hits.
Okay, here are 3 powerful scripts to use. Number 1, I'm not taking away all my fun. I'm just choosing what matters most to me this month, and that is stability.
I like that.
Number 2, this delivery is a treat, not a default. If I spend here, I'm consciously saying no to adding $150 to my emergency fund. Is that trade-off truly okay with me tonight?
It makes the choice explicit.
And number 3, I am learning to use convenience in a way that supports my future and my rest, instead of continually draining my security.
Those scripts empower choice and link the small action to the larger desired outcome.
Change is always driven more effectively by self-respect and the desire for freedom than by self-hatred or deprivation. We want to empower you to choose the system that serves you. Hashtag tag outro.
Okay, let's wrap up this extensive deep dive on the true cost of convenience. We've established that the reason money disappears is rarely a single luxury, but rather the cumulative force of hundreds of small, invisible, automated costs.
That's right.
So what are your final 5 core takeaways you want everyone to leave with?
Okay, first, autopilot is expensive. Intentionality is powerful. Know your convenience number and consciously choose what earns its place in your life.
Number 2.
Use systems, not just willpower. Your brain is outnumbered by app design. You need to create those friction points, like deleting the apps or using a separate spending account to win against present bias. 3. A focused reduction creates safety and options. Cutting $100 or $150 a month is the entry point to debt freedom or a life-saving emergency fund.
Number 4.
Perfection is not the goal. Focus on the consistent pattern of intentionality, not the occasional lapse. Use that lapse as data, not as a reason to quit. And finally, Number 5, a successful money plan makes room for both. You are allowed to enjoy the comforts of life now while proactively building financial security for later.
I love those. And here are my final 5 takeaways, focused on your identity and action. 1, you are not bad with money. You are operating in an environment specifically designed to prevent you from seeing the total annual price tag of default convenience.
So true.
2, the audit is about telling the truth. It is the necessary step to define the starting point so you can choose your path forward. 3, you define the trade-offs. You just have to decide which conveniences are worth paying for and which dollars you are ready to redirect towards security. 4, the goal of the 30-day reset is to prove your capacity. Prove to yourself with real numbers that you can use convenience on purpose within your boundaries. And 5, every choice changes your story. Every time you cook a simple backup meal or pause an unused subscription, you are not just saving a few dollars. You are defining yourself as someone who is in control of their future money story.
That's powerful.
All right, here's your final challenge from us. We want you to commit to executing these steps this week. 1, complete the convenience audit and write down your total monthly convenience spend.
Get that number.
2, write down the massive yearly number. 3, choose one subscription to cut, pause, or downgrade and replace one delivery night this week with a low-effort, home-cooked meal.
Just one.
4, set up one automatic transfer, even if it's just $30 or $50, to savings, debt payment, or an investment account with the money you freed up. And 5, write one new identity sentence somewhere you'll see it daily. For example, I am someone who uses convenience on purpose and actively builds a future I feel safe in.
If you do just those 5 things, you have already started changing the real cost of convenience in your life. You don't have to be perfect to change your money. You just have to start using a few of the tools already in your hand differently.
Thank you so much for bringing the data, the psychology, and the compassion to this discussion.
Thank you for having me. To anyone who is feeling both called out and motivated, that is the sweet spot. You are seeing clearly, and that belief in a better way is exactly where real financial change begins.
Take care of yourself, implement those boundaries, and I'll talk to you next time.